Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, yeah. Back in the kitchen. Whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Yeah. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Woo. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a third. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it going. The powers opposites in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes? As I'm staring at the people on the other side. Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down. And I tried to tell them last time, but I guess they didn't want to listen. Now listen what they saying now. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Simple as it might seem, it's a complicated situation. You can't handle it if you ain't got the patience. Process of elimination, narrow down, liquidate. Yeah. Cleaning up my house for a dinner date. At the dinner table with my dinner plate. Eating 2 steaks, repping 2 states. I think it's time to renovate. I need a bigger space. My own lane on the interstate. Private plane and a runway. And a fine flight attendant that'll get down with it both ways. I don't even take a suitcase. I just get the way I'm going, get out looking for the new thing. Trying to show you how I do things. So it won't be no surprises when I come through like the Wu-Tang. Cause I came to bring the pain. But it ain't gonna be no method to my madness, man. Know what I'm saying? I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, yeah. Back in the kitchen. Whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Yeah. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Woo. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a third. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it going. The powers opposites in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes? As I'm staring at the people on the other side. Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down. And I tried to tell them last time, but I guess they didn't want to listen. Now listen what they saying now. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue. handle it if you ain't got the patience. Process of elimination, narrow down, liquidate. Yeah, cleaning up my house for a dinner date. At the dinner table with my dinner plate. Eating 2 steaks, repping 2 states. I think it's time to renovate. I need a bigger space. My own lane on the interstate. Private plane and a runway. And a fine flight attendant that'll get down with it both ways. I don't even take a suitcase. I just get the way I'm going, get out looking for the new thing. Trying to show you how I do things. So it won't be no surprises when I come through like the Wu-Tang. Cause I came to bring the pain. But it ain't gonna be no method to my madness, man. Know what I'm saying? I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking, put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking, put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Okay. Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game, I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the coffin. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. Top chef, back in the kitchen. Whipping up a dish to kill the competition. Intermission over, last back to business. Genie in the bottle gave me 3 wishes. Wish 1, wish 2. I ain't need a 3rd. Didn't even need a 2. I just kept it on. The powers opposites is in my uniform. And got a mystique tipping like a unicorn. Can't you see the hunger in my eyes as I'm staring at the people on the other side? Like I'm walking around with a loaded 45 finger on the trigger. It could go off in here anytime. Bow, bow. Ain't no warning shot. If you hear that pistol pop, it's a man down. And I try to.
Hey, back again, the DNA show, the Donnie and Anthony show. Hey, your best Carolina Panthers channel on YouTube. We are back again right after preseason. Preseason's over. Now it's time for the regular season for true Carolina Panthers football. Good luck to all those men cutting it down from 80-man roster down to 53. Hey, the best of the best will make it, and you will all become a Carolina Panthers just like we are. It'll be in your DNA just like it is in ours. Hey, Donnie and Anthony, part of the Donnie and Anthony show. Right here on your left of your screen. We want to talk about, Donnie and I want to talk about today, we'll have a preseason review. And during the preseason, we played the Commanders, Patriots, and the Bills. And we want to review each of those games and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. So, hey, before we start getting into each individual game, Donnie, on a whole, what is your thoughts of the Panthers in the preseason?
A lot of good things I see that I like. For instance, like our defense. I mean, they're playing really well together, especially our first string. Just a really talented group of guys. It looks like we're finally starting to mesh it together to the point where I think we could be a top 10 defense. But the for me to tell the tape is the fact that I think, I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I think we found our guy at quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Man, I love the way he was throwing the ball all preseason when he had the opportunities to. He obviously didn't play, 3 or 4 games, quarters 1 to 4 each game. But I mean, the throws he was making and the decisions he was making, I liked it. And I think it's something that we've been missing for the last 4 years, man. I mean, we haven't won the last 4 years, and I think you and I even talked. Simply converting a third down was just put us over the hills. Like we just and throwing specific Baker Mayfield made last night in between 2 defenders closing in on the ball. Unfortunately, it wasn't caught by Chuba Hubbard, but those kind of throws made me think this might be our guy. This genuinely might be our guy. He seems refreshed and he seems poised and he's ready to play. And I think that for me is the biggest story of the preseason. Essentially, is that I think we found our guy heading into the regular season in the future.
Same, yeah. I haven't seen that kind of needle thread since Cam really. Yeah, regardless how you feel of Cam, he had some throws like that throughout his career, and showed that he can take over a team like Baker Mayfield can, and I think he will. So yeah, overall, pretty good. It was a happy preseason for us, and going out with a winning record. So hey, first up, we'll talk about the Commanders, which was the first game. So starting off in the preseason game by game, let's talk about it. All right, so against the Commanders, Baker Mayfield, he was 4 for 7. I think we saw 2 drives out of him, 45
Yeah,
yards. PJ Walker, 10 of 19, 136 yards. Pretty good numbers there. Matt Corral, 1 for 9, 11 yards. He had an ugly game there. No help from the offensive line, so we didn't really know. So we didn't really know much there. It was ugly. It was ugly for Matt considering, but damn it, if he didn't lead us to a game-winning field goal, which was made by Zane Gonzalez, 45-yard field goal to win it all. And another thing I noticed on third down, for the past years, we've been struggling with third down conversions, but uh, we were 11 of 18 in that game. And that's pretty good because PJ was behind center, Matt was behind center, Sam Darnold was behind center, uh, Baker Mayfield was behind center. So 4 different quarterbacks and different offensive looks, and they all, as collectively, were able to be 11 of 18 for the third down conversion. So that made me very happy. Thoughts on the Commanders game there, sir?
yeah,
What's your
man.
thoughts on
I
the
mean,
Commanders?
a lot to like from Baker. Oh, sorry, I was lagging a little bit. So for me, I liked a lot what I saw out of Baker in that first drive. And honestly, man, Shy Smith in that game was really, really good too. So the offense, man, essentially the first string offense, I liked a lot. We got to see Icky in some one-on-one situations as well. You saw the rookie goods, like the pros and the cons, obviously. Um, our defense looked good. Our first string defense looked really good. I think in the Washington Commanders game, I think the biggest thing was our depth. I'm a little worried about our depth. I think that's going to be one of my biggest worries. You know, throughout these games, the more we talk about them, is my concern about how well our second and third string guys are going to play together as a unit. But there's a lot, there's a lot to like. I did see some coaching mistakes by putting our rookie quarterback in with some third stringers. I don't think that'd be really productive for his confidence, to say the least. I think when you put him back there, even though it's the preseason, it's his first actual game where he's suited up, he's taking snaps, and there's a real NFL authentic feeling of like having to put your team down the field, you know what I'm saying, and try to win the game. I think the pressure got to him, and it didn't help that he wasn't aided by a solid offensive line. So I thought that was a coaching error on Matt Rule's behalf. I know you don't want to play stars that much, but I would much rather see the rookie guy go ahead and get his reps in. But I guess that comes with the territory when you have 3 quarterbacks or starting caliber, I guess you could say. But yeah, uh, the biggest takeaway is the first and second or first string offense and the first string defense look really good. A little worried about depth, but yeah.
Yeah, experience is the best teacher. And to your point, you're talking about Matt Corral not playing behind, he's playing behind third, fourth string offensive line, so he struggled there. But to your point, Ron Rivera in Washington has played Sam Howell behind his ones, and he did have a pretty good preseason. So, yeah, I like the way Ron did in Washington. Matt Rule did a little different. Yeah, and then we see what happened. And let's talk about what happened. Next game at the Patriots, P.J. Walker, 8 for 15, 107 yards and 2 interceptions. Matt Corral, 9 for 15, 58 yards. Uh, he walked out of that game. He walked out limping of that game. So, and it ended up with the exact same injury that Cam had at the end of his career on the same field, almost to the date, which is weird. So, but hey, one good thing there, and I know you'll talk about it as well. Mac Jones didn't have his greatest game against our second string. Our second string defense started that game. Mac Jones was 4 for 8 for 61 yards, and his first two drives was 3 and out. So kudos to our second string defense there. And they did. Now we didn't score at all on offense actually, and but the only way we did score was the interception return by a DB. So our defense scored for us 10-20. We ended up losing that game. Couple concerns there. What is your concern as well, sir?
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. I'll let you get to your own soliloquy that way. You had no feedback. Concerns in the Patriots game. Um, the fact that we had no offense, man. I mean, we scored 3 points. As far as like offense leading the field, I mean, the defense is the only one that scored a touchdown. I mean, it's a pick six. I think that for me was the biggest area of concern because like if some of our ones go down offensively, like who's going to step up? PJ threw 2 picks. Obviously, Matt Corral went down. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a little worried. I mean, some of our younger guys aren't stepping up as much. I mean, my biggest I hate to go off the grid. My biggest concern is more of what we're going to do with Terrence Marshall. I mean, he's a second round pick. We haven't seen much of him. And I'm a little worried about our second and third string offensive linemen too. So I don't. You might think I'm crazy, man, but I think that game in itself showed that like our second string quarterbacks too, our second third string quarterbacks, there's reason to be worried. Like I don't know. I feel,
Sure.
especially with Sam Darnold and obviously Matt Corral going down. PJ Walker's got to be the next guy in line. I think PJ Walker being here 3 years, he's got to be able to control these preseason games. I mean, he's been with Matt Rule for 3 years. He's been able to sit behind Kevin. He's been able to sit behind Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. You should know this offense by now. We shouldn't be struggling to move the ball. We shouldn't be struggling to keep the tempo going or even getting the ball in the end zone. And that I'm a little worried, man. Especially with I don't want to speak too far ahead, obviously, but with Sam Darnold going down last night, I mean, PJ's our next guy up if something happens to Baker. So I'm worried.
Great points. Great points. You made the points of being behind three different veteran guys: Teddy Bridgewater, Cam. Even if you're behind a veteran who doesn't have the greatest career, just who, to your point, sir. Again, who Steve Smith said was the most he learned from ever in his career. Wasn't Jake? Wasn't Cam? Vinny Testaverde. Remember when Vinny Testaverde played for Carolina for a little while?
I was young. I was young.
Yeah. He said he learned so much from him just because he's a veteran. He just knew the game. He may not translate it all the time to the field, especially when he's with us. But just the little things that you learn. So yeah, PJ Walker being behind Teddy, Cam, Sam, and still can't really put it together. Reasons to be worried. So, but hey, not a whole lot to worry about in the next game. We Buffalo Bills here is what last night as recording of this video. Here we go. Buffalo Bills. We got to see. Now it was against their second string, but Baker Mayfield impressed, to say the least. 9 for 15, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And one of them to Shy Smith, who I noticed Shy Smith it was a 3rd and 12 one time, good throw by Baker, and he fought for it. Got the 3rd and 12 conversion, and it was 3rd and 2 in the red zone, deep 20-yard, 19, somewhere around there, yard touchdown to Shy Smith in the back of the end zone. Great stuff there. So, and speaking of the red zone, we were 3 for 3. So every time we entered the red zone, we scored throughout the whole game. And that defense is flying to the ball. We talked about it on the phone, you and I, Donnie. They are a team of dogs. Jeremy Chin
Absolutely.
had himself an interception. J.C. Horn played well. Dante Jackson played. Everybody played well. You could tell, especially shout out to Brandon Smith and Frankie Louvu. Those guys are flying to the ball and they are on it, just like Flap. That's a little insider. So, and speaking of that
RP Grandpa.
defense, yeah, that's right. R.I.P. to Roger, my friend. So, but in Flap, um, Donnie's grandfather growing up, man, he was hilarious, and he had a dog named Flap that we always played with and made fun of. So, um, but hey, but speaking of that defense, they had a shutout, 0 points scored by Buffalo Bills. So great for them. Hey, your thoughts on those Bills? Us playing the Bills there.
Listen, man, I'll go ahead and say it now. Like, number one, I know who receiver number 3 is going to be. That will, I know who it should be. That's Shot Smith. He's bought out all preseason, all throughout training camp. There's no reason why he shouldn't be receiver number 3. Um, even over Rashad Higgins, man. He played good last night. I love his. You can tell he's playing. You can tell he's playing for something. He's playing for something. He knows he'll probably make this team, but he wants his presence to be known, and I love that about him. He's not like a huge. He's not a Debo Samuel or DK Metcalf type receiver, but he's super physical for his size, and he's just got this dog in him that you and I preach about. Secondly, I want to touch on our linebacker core, man. There's so much to like with Frankie Louvu, Brandon Smith, and Shaq Thompson. Those would be my 3. Um, excuse me. I know, everyone would ask me about Damian Wilson and Corey Littleton. I don't see why we should start them. I mean, we got Brandon Smith, Frankie Louvu, and we have Shaq Thompson. I mean, Frankie Louvu hustles sideline to sideline. Um, he doesn't slow down, and you need for a team that wants to prove themselves. That guy not only needs to have a C on his jersey, but he needs to be he needs to be playing like heavy snaps each game.
Agreed.
To just uplift this defense and just to show what football really is about, especially Carolina Panthers football. You talk about keep pounding mantra and Sam Mills. Like I said, Frankie Louvu when he left New York, I mean I didn't know much of him when we signed him. I was like, oh, probably just a special teams guy. I'd be damned. Like he's just if he plays like this, he'll be a Pro Bowl mentioned player. I do believe that. You don't fly around the ball sideline to sideline, like that, and be around the ball as much as he is without having those kind of, with that recognition. So,
Good point.
and I was proud of the second and third string. All my worries look like they have been somewhat pushed to the side, but um, so I'm proud of the way the second and third stringers played on both sides of the ball last night. Obviously with the 21-0 shutout, there's a lot to be proud of. But I think, it's maybe in my little soliloquy, but I think the biggest thing going into the season, we're limping into the season now, man. Sam Darnold's hurt. Zane Gonzalez is hurt. I know Derek Brown said he's fine, but I mean, yeah, you never know till you know. And that just kind of worries me a little bit because that's always been kind of how things have went for us. We've always limped into the season. I think for the last 6-7 years, even when Cam was playing with us, we've always limped into the regular season somehow. Always, whether it be the training camp or just the preseason in totality. So I'm a little worried about that. But yeah, last night, man, I was very pleased to say the least.
Same here. And to wrap it all up, let's talk about the preseason itself and our letter grades. So back here with us. So I asked Donnie, "Hey man, what would you give? What would you
B,
give this preseason team grade here?"
B,
Um,
for sure.
so a B. Explain to me why a B here, sir.
Man, because I do like how, I guess the story about it is like the way we rebounded. The second the second and third stringers, how they bounce back. In this week, I think they must have had a really good team meeting or just some sort of recognition that, hey, this is the preseason, man. We could be limping into the season, and your numbers need to be called. I like the way the young guys bounce back. We obviously have a very beautiful first string offense and defense. And when they played phenomenal. I mean, we played with heart, we played with grit, and we played with collectiveness. So I think going into the season, I don't think we'll see any sort of, you know, miscommunications as much. I think Baker's going to be our guy to lead us. I'm, I don't know how I feel about Christian not playing, but I know he'll be okay. We have three solid receivers. Um, I think Icky will be fine starting. I think our offensive line is solidified when healthy, and then of course our defense. So I think we found our answers, and I think the 53-man roster is clear cut to find. But I didn't go any higher than the B, just because there is still some things I would like us to kind of unkink, especially with the younger guys. They just got to be ready when their numbers called, man. There's some times where I see some guys get beat. I've seen some guys, not in position. I've seen some guys missing tackles, so and that happens. So I'm pleased, and I give us a B because there's a lot to like, and I do think this could be a 500 team, at least a 500 team, at least a winning team. So
Yeah, for sure. I agree with everything you're saying there, man. It's things look good. A couple things you want to unkink, like you said. But we pretty much agree. So same thing. I give him a B minus, and the minus really is even though Baker did well, I think he's going to, and really no fault to him, but it was against our second string. I would, like I say, no fault to him, but I would like to see what he did against Buffalo Bills first string. Um, uh, but yeah, we really haven't truly seen. We won't see Baker versus their first string or whatever until week one. So, but everything looks good though. So, and the same concerns as you, man. If Baker goes down, then and Sam's down now, and PJ's got to go under center, then what? So. But hopefully we don't have to go down that. We didn't see Christian much, like you said. Would like to see him. I understand it's Christian and he's going to be okay, but you still got to get in there and clash some pads, even if it's for a drive. So, um, but yeah, I think everything's going to be a okay. So, um, uh, hope we made the playoffs. I think we will. I think we're headed in the right direction, even if it isn't this year. Things are great. So, um, but hey, speaking of the preseason, we gave our letter grades what we thought, but I want to make a connection here. A lot of people say, well, it's just preseason, but hey, think about it this way. So, in the past preseason, starting from 2008, you can see everyone's record in the preseason, and those names you see next to every year are the Super Bowl winners. So there's a connection there. You do well in the preseason, you probably do well during the regular season. Get your stuff together, and hey, you might come out with a trophy, the Vince Lombardi one. So in 2008, Steelers were 3-1 preseason. 2009, the Saints were 3-1, and it's on and on. No one had a losing record. Packers 2-2, Giants 2-2, and you see the rest of the teams there. Everyone had, if not even, then better. So, and to the point, in 2015, even though the Broncos were the Super Bowl winners, we still hadn't forgot it. We're still salty. We're still mad. Screw Von Miller and his hairline, as Donnie would say. um, that year the Panthers went to the Super Bowl. That we were 3-1 that year, and I looked it up. 2003 when we went against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, we were 4-0. So still there. So, and my wife will like this one. The Ravens are on like an NFL record of 25, 26, 27, something like that. Straight preseason wins. Haven't lost in 20 some straight preseasons. And that is a franchise who is always in the playoffs, always doing well. Whether or not they win or not, they haven't won since 2012, but man, they got two. It's just a great franchise. Not just because it's, my second team, but just a good friend. And Donnie agrees that he said before, he agrees as well. Just a good franchise put together well. They just always do well. So the connection between the preseason and Super Bowl, I wanted people to see that and realize, hey, preseason does matter a little bit. So coming back to us, hey, we're gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines. If you want to, and call in now, or hey, you don't like talking to us, I wouldn't talk to us either. You're gonna right here in the chat, YouTube. Got a question? Hey, yo, you got a problem? We'll solve it. check out the hook one with DJ Revolver. A little bit of Vanilla Ice for you. So hey, call in now 910-912-7545. Or you can, hey, you got a question or comment, concern, say, hey, y'all suck. That's cool too, right there in the chat. So, but hey, man, now the preseason's over, the regular season's coming up. So, based off of just what you see in the preseason, what are your, hey, I like that, and then what are your, need some work? Kind of scares me.
Yeah, the things I like, man. Obviously our defense. I I don't like it. I love it. I love our defense, man. I
Same.
love it, man. Our safeties are good. Like I said to you the other day, I think this is the best our defense has looked on paper probably since 2008. I know in 2015 we were really good. I mean, on paper, we had some players that people didn't really know about. Um, so as far as like the caliber of names and what they've done so far in the NFL, I think, man, this is the best we've looked in a long time on paper, man. It's shown, when these guys play together, we play well. So love the defense and I love our first string offense. Seriously, man. I keep saying it till the cows come home, but I love it, man. There's a lot to be excited about, and even though Baker was playing against second stringers yesterday, those guys were still, some of them were in the right place at the right time, and he was still making it happen, and I like it. And he was very patient in the pocket, specifically yesterday when he found I think it was Shy Smith in the end zone. He looked left, right, and just went through his progressions and found the upper man. Kudos to the offensive line for protecting him. So yeah, what kind of has me feeling about is honestly, man, our quarterback situation outside of Baker, and some of our younger guys on both sides of the ball. Some of these guys who have not proven themselves. I do worry. I do worry if a Brian Burns goes down, who's going to step up? Who is going to step up? Obviously, if a Baker Mayfield goes down, who is going to step up? I'm not sold on Sam Darnold. If J.C. Horn were to go down, who is going to step up? So things like that. Obviously, just concerns about younger guys, and I think that's always everyone's concern. But I just want them to play well. So that's the good and the bad for me.
Yeah, I agree. I had a mutual friend of ours, Jeremy, he messaged me on the side. Are you joining the Baker fan club? So, hey, you joining it? What we think?
I'm on. I hopped on.
Same.
I signed up. I stood in line to join that club.
Right. So, yeah, I think Baker's gonna be the guy. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll rep that number 6. And hey, he has a good year this year. He's on one year contract. He has a good year. I'd like to have him back and continue to do it. So, but I think he will. So, um, also another friend of ours, you just met him. He's actually behind me. He's with me today. Carl. He asked me yesterday. We're talking a little bit about Panthers football, and I think he said, what'd you ask me, Carl, about Cam Newton?
And we'll know by mid-season, if the two quarterbacks aren't panning out,
Okay,
will
yeah,
they look at Cam
yeah.
again?
So, a friend of mine, Carl, is with us today, checking out the show, behind the scenes of it, and a coworker as well. Um, so yeah, basically, the other quarterbacks don't work out. Do you give Cam that call? So, and it's funny you asked that because last night Sam Darnold went down. Now we're down, and Matt Corral's already hurt. Um, and now it's down to what we've been talking about today already: Baker and PJ. Do we give Cam that call? Do you think they will give Cam that call? Matt Rule said it last night. He said, not ready to have that conversation, but his time with Cam has been fine. He doesn't know. He's got to watch the tape.
Right. Like always.
So, thoughts on that, sir? Would you sign Cam, and do you think they're going to sign Cam? What do you think?
Am I ugly? Then yes, absolutely. So bring him back. If it comes down to that, why not? I mean, it's the safest option, the safest pick. You don't want to go out and trade in third and fourth rounders like we've done before, and just hey, sure, I'm sure he's made a ton of money in his career. Um, this could be a good roster for him to work with. Probably the most talented he'll probably ever run into. Honestly, on both sides of the ball. No, 15 was really that defense was really talented. So I not on both sides, but they're pretty damn solid team for in a great situation for him to walk into. Obviously open. Obviously, doors always open for Cameron Jerome to return. And I think I don't think we'll do it. I think Matt Rule's ego will get in his way. He doesn't want to look bad. He always has to watch the tape on everything. So I doubt would do it, but it is a move I would love to do, and I think it should be an option now. I mean, with Corral going down, Sandor having high ankle sprain, we don't know how long that's going to take to recover from. I mean, he's a quarterback, so he's always going to be on his feet. He's always standing. He's always having to bounce around the pocket. So I mean, it's football too. So you can't really play with bad ankles. So we'll see. I would love for it to happen. The door is always open, man. I mean, and I think that would be a true if it was his last time, man. I do think that would be a really good send off.
For sure. Yeah. 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 Like you said, man, why not? So I'm gonna close the phone lines, close it up right now. I think we all get what we got to look forward to and what we got to work on. But so with the upcoming season, Donnie, you mentioned it. You said I have high expectations, and some of your expectations were, well, other people. First thing starting with Baker and DJ. What do you expect from those
Yeah,
guys?
man. I expect for those guys to have Pro Bowl caliber seasons.
Mhm.
I think DJ's biggest downfall, not because of him, but because of who he's had throwing on the ball. Obviously, when he had Cam in his rookie season, Cam was hurt. So Cam wasn't able to throw the ball downfield and get DJ the ball as much. I mean, they still had a good connection, but he's played with either hurt quarterbacks or just bad quarterbacks. So I think Baker Mayfield, who has shown to be accurate when healthy, and with the offense being given to him, I think those two will mesh. Man, I think DJ will have a career year. I don't think he'll just get just 1,000. I think he'll get right at, if not the 1,200 receiver mark, and probably a handful of touchdowns. I could see him having 7 or 8. Honestly, I mean, and it looks like they have a great connection as well. So I do think, in fact, they will have a Pro Bowl caliber season. Another one of my bold predictions that our defense will be top 10 as a unit. Like I said, with Luvu, Shaq, hopefully Brandon Smith leading the way behind, Brian Burns and a Yetur Gross-Matos and a Matt Ioannidis and a Derek Brown. Those guys have proven to be good ball players as well. Yetur Gross-Matos, this has to be a big year for him. But the secondary is what I'm most excited about, to be honest with you, man. Got Jesse Horn back there. You have Dante Jackson. You have a very, very young and unproven. He has it, but he hasn't proven it yet. CJ Henderson. Just think he needs to get his confidence together, and he'll be fine. He's got the skills, he's got the ability, and of course, you have the great Jeremy Chin behind those guys, and you have Xavier Woods. So it's a very damn good team, and I do think that we'll be a top 10 defense. And lastly, I think we'll lead the league in takeaways. I think we'll lead the league in takeaways. I mean, we had one last night. It's too easy. It's too easy for those guys, man. They just find a way to be around the ball all the time, and so those are my 3 bold predictions. You can like it, love it, hate it, wish me death. Cool, awesome, extravagant, all extravagant options. So I'm open for all those things.
Yes, sir. I agree with you, man. Baker and DJ, I think DJ's overdue for some Pro Bowls. He deserves even more than what he's got. Um, he's only receiver to have 3 or 4 straight 1,200. So he's the most consistent receiver in the league and the most underrated, in my opinion. Top 10 defense. Shoot, I'll even go top 5. We were number 2 last year, and we've gotten even better. Might even be number 1. So. And leading the league in turnovers, I certainly hope so, and I think so. So, yeah, that was one thing that Phil Snow wanted to do. Phil Snow, defensive coordinator, even said, "Hey, we want to create more turnovers. That's a big goal of ours, and I think they will." So, right back here to us, man. I think that's it for us, man. Preseason, like we said, pretty much between the both of us is a B. We are excited. We are very excited. we're going to take a week off after this. Spend time with me family. And when we come back, any one of these little mouthy fools can get it. Conor McGregor reference. All of them. And we're so excited. Me and Donnie have never been more excited for a Panther season than this one right here, 2022 season. Week 3, first we open up against Cleveland. Will be a big test. Then the Giants, week 3 against the Saints at the Vault, Bank of America Stadium. Guess who will be there? The DNA show. Donnie and Anthony will be there in the end zones cheering on that team. So hey, if you're there, you see us. At a later date, we'll put out what section we're sitting in. Come take pictures with us, or we want to take pictures of you. All right. So, and it'll be fun as always. So, hey, one little thing I want to mention on the side here. You probably heard him earlier. Friend of mine, Carl. On the side, we're going to start something. I'll be a part of. Excited to do. So, if you're a Panthers fan, if you're a pro wrestling fan, there's a podcast that we're working on coming up with. Faction 919 podcast, all about pro wrestling. So, hey, your Flairs, your Hogans, your Austins, your John Cenas, your Roman Reigns, you're a fan of any of those guys or that sport in general. Hey, we're coming to you soon. Probably early, later this year or early next year. We're getting it all together. Going to be exciting. Me and C. Rich are getting together to do it all, baby. And a couple other guys that are really smart to the business and a lot of experience there. So it'll be fun. So if you tune into the Donnie and Anthony show, tune in to Faction 919 coming soon. So, but yeah, man, we're excited. I know you're excited for sure, man. And a week off, and after that, September 11th. Hey, we'll always remember that. Panthers football starts officially against the Cleveland Browns, Baker's former team. Man, what a way to open up the season. Baker versus his old team, Cleveland Browns. What do you say, man? What are you most excited about with the season? And hey, how do you think the season will go?
Man, I'm just excited to watch Panthers football, man. It's been so long, it's been a very long 4 years, and every year for the last, it seems like every day for the last 4 years, man. When the season ends, it's been taking so long. So I'm just excited to get back into the groove, watching it again, man. And I do think this will be a special year for us. I hope Matt Rule makes me eat crow. That's my daily affirmation. Make me eat crow, man. There's a lot to be excited about, man. This offense and this defense is gonna fly around, and we're gonna have some fucking fun, man. I can't wait. So I do think that we will be at least be 500. But if I could have it my way, we'd be a wild card team, at least to the very minimum, a wild card team. At least a wild card team.
Yeah, same. I think so as well. So that's the way I want it as well. So, but hey, good things are coming to the Carolina Panthers team. And hey, as always, thanks for joining us. The DNA show, because that black and blue, it's in our DNA. The Donnie and Anthony show. As always, sir, keep pounding,
man.
That's right.
Turn me up a little bit. Oh, you know it's about to happen. We all good. We going in. Count it off. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. I'm a real life go-getter, baby. I'm a go-getter. You think it's a game? I ain't playing with them. Face to face, toe to toe with them. No more time for talking. Put them in the talking. Anybody roll with them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them. We gon' put that body boom on them. Carolina black and white blue on them.